how is everybody doing out there? This is Mixed Reactions. It's Ian Blackwell. It's Casey Merritt. It's Justin Duncan. We don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but we're going to fucking find out. How are you doing today, Casey?
Can't complain. We have another little storm coming our way, so we're probably going to be without power again for a few days. So I'm going to hate my life, but other than that, life is good.
You know who really hates his life right now? Josh Giddey. That man's been going through a lot. How are you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing all right, but
I love the Josh Giddey shot so early in the cast.
seriously, that was
You-
great.
We're 5 seconds in and you podding already.
No, you know what? To be honest, that's a whole conversation for a different day. But what I want to talk about first, I know we were all anticipating it. The college football national championship game. Houston, Texas, Michigan beats Washington 34-13, claim their first national championship under Jim Harbaugh. Michigan looked like a machine last night. I want to go to at first. I want to go to Justin just because I know Casey has been high on Washington all year, so I'll give him his props. But I know Justin has definitely had an opinion on them at for the most part this season. So Justin, I just want to go back really quickly to the Arizona State game.
Yeah,
Compared
sure.
to how they look against them, and it was like what 17-9, right? They fucking struggled, and in like that 3 week span, they struggled. Do you think that they can consider their season a success?
I think it's hard to say it's not a success considering the pieces that they were able to put around, but I think you also have to consider that a lot of those pieces are now declared for the NFL draft, so it's kind of hard to say it's a true success. I think they caught lightning in a bottle if they were able to capture it, but I think it's a little. It's one of those things because you're losing your general and Michael Penix Jr. He's going to the draft and probably a top 10 pick
Right.
based on how he was playing, especially to the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction for the program for sure. I mean, the offensive line won the I can't know the name of the word, but they were rated the best offensive line in the entire nation. You just get that. That doesn't just happen. You have to build that. So I would say that it's. I mean, I had my doubts in Washington, and they were kind of brought to light in the championship game.
Yeah,
But
for sure. They got exposed. Their
they
weaknesses
did
got exposed by a team that was capable of exposing them, I think.
absolutely, and I think I mean the thing with Michigan's strength was that defense, and much like the Miami Dolphins, who I will get into this later in our NFL picks, they want to track meet you. What's what the Washington Huskies want to do, and when you can't do that against a stout defense like Michigan has, you get punched in the face.
And when you look at how easily Michigan was able to move the ball early in the game, they just looked like they looked sharp in the first half, man. I knew Washington was going to mount a little bit of a second half rally. I want to just kick it over to Casey real quick. When you look at Penix Jr., what he was able to accomplish during the playoffs, what he's able to accomplish this year, I've been really impressed with him. Do you think that do you foresee him having success at the next level?
Well, first and foremost, before I answer that question, I want to touch on a couple different things regarding that. Justin, the award that you're referring to is the Joe Moore Award.
Thank you for clearing that fire that for me. Appreciate
yeah,
that.
not a problem. The Joe Moore Award. And Ian, you touched on the fact that I was high on Washington all year, which is very accurate because I was. But I was even higher on Michigan. I've been saying since week 3 of the college football season that Michigan looks like the best team in the nation. And, of course, when Sean was on, we had a little debate because he was going back and forth on who have they beaten. They haven't played anybody. And my counter argument to that was, but everybody they are playing, they are absolutely dominating. And
they're winning the games they had to win. They should have won, and winning in style.
Winning in style, winning handily. And
since they beat Ohio State, yeah, go ahead. They really.
Oh, no. Yeah, so all I was going to say is you were right, because you pointed out I was very high on Michigan for most of the season. I mean, on Washington for most of the season, but I was higher on Michigan, and I did pick Michigan to win this game. As soon as Michigan beat Alabama, to me, it wouldn't have mattered if they played Texas or they played Washington. I had Michigan winning the game, and I think they would have beaten Texas the same way that they beat Washington.
Yeah.
Washington
too
could
good. Best team in the country, I think.
Absolutely, no question about it. Michigan controlled the game from start to finish.
Right.
And you're right, Ian. They had Washington had a few instances last night where they looked like they were making that spark, where Michigan's offense was stalling and they were starting to make a little bit of a comeback. However, the old story held true for Michigan, and that was run the damn football. They were absolutely electric on the ground last night. I believe they had over 100 yards in the first quarter of that game. And so go for it. No, what are you going to say?
There was something I noticed also while I was watching the game, and it was something that Arthur Smith, who we pissed off at now, ex-Falcons head coach, they were going for it on fourth down to put the foot on the throat of the Washington Huskies, and it worked.
It absolutely did.
So
absolutely,
Michigan, man, for real.
Yeah. I mean, hands down, top to bottom, Michigan was the best team in the nation. I still think that even if Michigan had lost to Alabama, that winner of that game was going to win the national title.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Washington would have given Alabama more of a push than they gave Michigan, but I still think that that Alabama or Michigan were going to win the whole thing once all was said and done.
Think about the off the field. Well, not really off the field, but not really. But the sign stealing thing. Think about the stuff that they had to endure losing their head coach for the Ohio State game.
What's
the rest
that,
of the
Ian?
regulars. Sorry about that. I don't think
I would say your mic broke out.
Oh, it did that on the phone earlier. That was weird. But no, all I was gonna say was that Michigan has pretty much just been dominant all season with the sign stealing thing, man, and they still didn't skip a beat. They lost their head coach going into the biggest game of the season against Ohio State, and they survived. Granted, there was a couple calls last night that were bullshit, but ultimately Michigan was just a better team. Washington had a bunch of missed opportunities, and there was a missed fourth down catch. I want to say he overthrew one. Yeah,
he missed him. It was absolutely wide open on fourth down. Yes,
that was a risky play, but I understand why they did it. They were trying to get back into the game, and he had a walk-in touchdown. But you're right. Penix missed the throw by just a hair.
That's all it takes, just a hair. Just ask Rodney Harrison against David Tyree.
McCarthy, though, man, I'm really starting to like him.
I've been saying for a while now, J.J. McCarthy is the best quarterback Michigan has had in a long time. He's mobile. He makes good decisions. He has a strong arm. I think he's pro ready.
I would agree. I think if he's not absolutely day one starter pro ready, he's ready to be backup pro ready and maybe 1 year on the bench at worst.
I'm happy for him too, man, because I mean he was a guy that a lot of people were looking at as what is he really going to do past college? He's going to be one of those college Jason White type guys that we never hear from, but he's really starting to improve his stock, and they just won a national championship. But that was just a really good season, man. Now, one thing that I want to kind of just get into a little bit is we're going to switch from a 4-team playoff to a 12-team playoff, and I was doing the research earlier, don't have the notes in front of me, but pretty much the top 4 seeds, are going to get a bye.
That makes sense.
And then it's going to be 12, 5, 6, 11, so on and so forth. The opening round games, the round before the round of 8, the quarterfinals, those are going to be home site games. So you're going to have team playing at home, because college football, man, like we've seen it over the years. You lose one game, you're better. Screwed. Now with the 4 teams, like you lose one game, you better kill the shit out of everybody and just hope that something works out in your favor. You lose 2, you're done. But now we're gonna have teams with 2, like there's gonna be some really good teams that get in, man. I think it's gonna be really good. The only thing I'm worried about is what happens in the first couple of years, because it's like essentially somebody's playing for the right to go get the shit beat out of them by Michigan 2 weeks later. But I'm excited for it, man. I think that there's a lot of good teams in college football that they don't get to settle it on the field against those other good teams. And it's just hard, man, when you have 27 teams. So how do you guys feel about that? I know you guys are both more of NFL guys, but are you guys excited about the expansion next year?
I like the expansion, but my concern is that once you get past the top 4, it's going to be too Big Ten and SEC heavy.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be any past the top 4, exactly. So you're gonna have
that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's okay.
I mean, I get it. I do.
Anyway.
I get it. I do. But at the same time, it doesn't make for, at least for me, to make so much as compelling football for the other conferences, for the little guy, as it were. But I mean, I'm all for expanding it because it ends the debate for who, if you were a lower level team and you wrecked the shit out of your schedule, you didn't get any credit for it because you were in a Power 5 conference.
Which makes total sense. And I actually agree with you with that, Justin, because let's put it like this, you're right. The top 4 teams could still sway between a few different conferences depending on how the schedule unfolds, for sure. But anything after that top 4, you're looking at basically 8 straight teams of SEC or Big Ten. I think that's the way it's going to work out. You might see a Pac-12 in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Pac-12.
How close? Let's just, because Michigan expanded at 12, right? Who finished the season at 12? Let me go ahead and look it up, but we'll just say for the sake of argument, I don't know who finished at 12. But okay, what I'm trying to say is, it might have been, I was thinking like Iowa, I don't think Tennessee finished that damn high. But what I was trying to say was, how much better is Michigan than that 12th best team? Like, that's
significantly.
Yeah, in Michigan's case, yeah, I think they were a poor example to use. But the point I'm making, like, there might be some years to where those are just some terrible. Okay, maybe that was a good example to use it, because there's going to be some years where there's just terrible games.
Florida State, for example, too, or Oregon. On the outside.
But with Florida State, had their starting quarterback not gone down, they may have had a legitimate shot to actually make some noise.
Possibly.
It's true.
I think so. I mean, dude, they didn't lose a game, regardless.
I don't think they would have beaten Michigan.
No.
But I definitely feel they could have made some actual noise within the college football playoffs.
Why did Georgia decide to score 63 on them, dude? Like, yeah.
Because they were sending a message that they deserved to be in there.
It was a giant fuck you to the committee. Absolutely.
That's exactly what it was. 100%, Justin. It was a fuck you to the committee, saying we deserve to be here, and you know we do. Now, not saying Alabama didn't deserve to be there, because they gave Michigan a hell of a game that went down to overtime that, quite frankly, you could make a legitimate case that Alabama should have won the game.
That was the national title game for me, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Big game of the year.
Oh, of course, because let's not act like Alabama wouldn't have curb stomped Washington or Texas, too.
Oh,
yes, I understand they lost to Texas in week 2. Everybody knows that.
Week 2.
That doesn't need to be said. We all understand that. But let's not act like Alabama didn't grow throughout the course of the season. I think Texas would have given Alabama a pretty decent game, because I think they heard this, they heard the chirpings. Alabama would have won the game. Absolutely, Ian. You're 100%. And I think they would have dog-walked Washington just like Michigan did.
Yeah, well, dude, Washington, like, they're a team that I think they could just hit you, because Penix, bro, despite missing the throw last night, like, I've watched them, they're exciting, bro. Like, they'll hit you with some. They're good, but Alabama would have probably beat them.
But they have to hit their stride, and if they're not hitting their stride, much like the Patriots of old, or the or the Chiefs of this year, if they're not catching the ball, then they're a pedestrian team.
Absolutely agree.
Man, speaking of pedestrian team, cry Eagles cry. What the actual fuck, bro? I had them on a fucking parlay. That was the one team I wasn't worried about, and they're fucking down like 27 to fucking 0. What the fuck happened? Like,
they got the shit pushed in.
So, I want to, if to start this conversation, I want to take it back a few weeks. Let's take it back to the show after the Eagles beat the Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field. Let's take it back there.
They're not good, yeah, or they're overrated or something.
That's exactly what I said. I said I see the flaws in this team. They are skating by. They are not good, and the rails are going to fall off. I saw the writing on the wall. You
called it.
They are dysfunctional. They are over cocky. They feel like they're going to show up, and since their name is the Philadelphia Eagles, every team is going to crumble before them, and that's not the case. Jalen Hurts
already quit.
That's one coach I cannot stand, and it has nothing to do with my distaste for the Eagles. I cannot stand the cockiness of Nick Sirianni. when they're talking, he is all rah-rah. When he told the Chiefs fans after they won that Monday night game in Arrowhead, who's talking now? I don't hear shit now. It's like, yeah, you beat them in a regular season game, homie. They beat you in the Super Bowl. You have no right to open your mouth to that franchise right now. You got out of there with a win. Good for you. If Marquez Valdez-Scantling hadn't dropped that pass, you wouldn't.
I disagree. It was a big win. I talk your shit.
I mean, that's fine. You can disagree.
I understand, but like I think he I could definitely. He's very unlikable, but I like the attitude he's bringing. They just need to stop the skid, man. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Well, I mean, they have a good chance this week. I mean,
nope. I don't think so.
They've got a good shot this week going against the team that hates me.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers would not piss on fire to put you out.
They would not. I don't know what it is, but they're like, you know what? We don't like your face, so if you pick us, we're going to lose, and if you pick against us, we're going to win because fuck you, Casey.
Did you just pick wrong on their game this weekend? Or they beat Carolina, so I'm
I picked them against Carolina, but that was barely though.
Bro. You know what what we should do is we'll go ahead and get into the picks, and then we will go ahead and because we're gonna most of the show is gonna be some NFL breakdown because I'm excited for the playoffs. I can't wait.
Did somebody say let's get into the picks?
The picks.
We have the pick segment, which is the best segment in all of Mixed Reaction.
As somebody's car is getting broken into.
That's my own car. That's good. Oh, good.
It's the alarm sounds for the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
It has been a long but short year. It feels like just yesterday was week 1. But here we are. We are at the wild card round. And Saturday, January 13th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, because fuck the West Coast, we have the Cleveland Browns heading in to face likely Rookie of the Year C.J. Stroud and the old wily vet who still hasn't left his couch, Joe Flacco. Who are you boys taking?
I got Cleveland. They're my dark horse in the playoffs. I got Cleveland.
I'm going Cleveland too.
Although, man, it's we might all be on the underdog or not the. I mean, who the fuck is favored? I think Cleveland might be. Give me the Browns. Sorry,
give me the Browns.
Let's take it out loud.
So, this is the marquee matchup for Saturday. This game is gonna be epic. It's Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City. It's Taylor Swift. It's Travis Kelce. It's Kermit the Frog Mahomes putting ketchup on his steak, throwing lasers to receivers. It's Mike McDaniel. It's Andy, give me a fucking cheeseburger, Reed. We have the Miami Dolphins heading into Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm taking...
Hold on. Before we make your pick, Casey, the game time temperature predictions are 0 degrees, getting down to -9 during the game.
See, that not only doesn't sway my pick, Mr. Duncan, it actually enhances it because I'm going off a rule that I made a year ago now.
You're not. Oh, no way. You're not doing this. Oh my God.
And my rule is you don't pick against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
No.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Oh my.
Wait, why are you so shocked? You didn't think Barrett is like the biggest Chiefs fan.
I thought he was going against Patrick Mahomes. Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I said I'm going with my rule.
Okay, my bad. I think they're going against my rule.
What I was like, why is Justin so shocked? You were confusing the shit out of me.
My bad.
No, I'm rolling with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Chiefs too because Tua Tagovailoa is going to be begging for a warm place to sit because, and the Dolphins have looked like absolute trash these last couple weeks.
They have
absolute utter trash. You had your throat, both hands around the throat of the AFC East title and the number 2 seed. And what do? You pissed it away to the Buffalo Bills, who were hot garbage even 4 weeks ago.
Dude, this is such like because I had Miami.
I was
Dallas
gonna say
Super
I'm interested in Ian's pick
Bro,
because
like because I've been high on Miami, man. Because
Ah.
another thing too is like you guys were saying, like the last 2 weeks have really made me like they're not as amazing as I thought they were. It's Kansas City. It's at home in the playoffs. Tyreek Hill goes for 250, scores 3 touchdowns. Chiefs lose. Dolphins win.
God damn, Ian.
No, not with the rocks. The receivers are going to be throwing rocks. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes, no one's going to catch the ball for Patrick Mahomes. But at the very least, Kansas City can play defense, and Miami can't.
Right.
Here's why this game is a few reasons. Number one, I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I don't care. I'm going to say it again. It's Patrick fucking Mahomes in the playoffs.
At home.
You don't bet against him in the playoffs. He's going to figure it out. He's going to find a way. And due to those low temperatures, the Chiefs have this little running back, fellas, by the name of Isaiah Pacheco, who runs like the goddamn Tasmanian devil. That man runs so hard and so violent. I don't think anybody on the Dolphins is going to want to get in his way. Pacheco, mark it down, going for 125 and a tutty.
What would like for the final score in this one?
I'm saying, because I still don't think the Chiefs' offense is incredible, so I still think they'll struggle from time to time. I'm saying 24-13 Chiefs.
Damn, that's pretty low.
27-10 Chiefs.
Oh shit. Yeah. Come on, I gotta think of some numbers. 34-21 Dolphins.
34-21.
No
my God.
No
Ian,
way.
They're gonna go out there.
No way.
He's gonna look like a fucking rabbit running through the motherfucking snow out there. Tyreek Hill's gonna kill their fucking ass. And I don't know, man. It's just I'm rolling with him. I just like I think he's just a difference maker. And then they're gonna have everybody healthy. I know.
Mostert's still hurt. Achi hasn't been who he was since he got hurt the first time.
And is Waddle going to be playing?
That's right. Mostert is still hurt.
Waddle's out and Chubb's out too.
Chubb's out. Mostert's out. Chubb out. Yeah, I'm going the Chiefs 27-13 or 24-13.
I got the Dolphins still. I believe in them. I believe in Mike McDaniels.
All right. So for the next game, Sunday at 1:00. We have Mason, don't look at my red nose, Rudolph, against Josh Allen and Bills Mafia. Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Okay,
and I'm going with the
Bills. I'm going with the Bills too, but something's got to be said about the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were dog shit for most of the year, somehow squeaked their way back in the playoffs. I think it saved Mike Tomlin's job, to be honest.
I absolutely think it saved Mike Tomlin's job. And all it really has been, it's just like when Santa asked little old Rudolph to guide his sleigh. Mason has been guiding that team with his big fucking red nose and clearing them to pathways. I think that Mason Rudolph maybe hasn't earned a starting position for Pittsburgh next year, but along with the same aspects of Mike Tomlin saving his job, Mason Rudolph saved his career in the NFL for at least another season due to the performance that he's been having.
Yeah, he bought himself another year.
Absolutely bought himself another year. He could have been well on his way out with not a single team picking up that phone for him. The way he's performed the last 3 games, he'll at least get a look. So I'm happy for him, but I think it ends Sunday, and I honestly think it ends pretty horrifically. This is the game that I think is going to be the biggest blowout.
Yeah.
I got Buffalo 31-10.
I got Buffalo 28-0.
28-0?
Nothing.
Okay.
Ooh.
Looking like Maine against some of these teams. Go Black Bears. Give me dude, I like something about me wanted to pick the Steelers, and then I realized I'm not a fucking idiot. I got the Bills winning 42-3.
Oh, Jesus.
I think we're just having fun with it at this point. What do we got next, Casey?
All right, boys. Are you ready? So,
Jimmy World.
Wait, what day is this? Saturday still?
Sunday.
The games.
January 14th, 4:30 Eastern time.
Sunday.
The only time zone that matters, because fuck the West Coast. We have Jordan. I don't love you and the Green Bay Packers heading back to a 2016 season of the crime against Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah, please stop holding me, Parsons, and the Dallas Cowboys. And I want you boys to go first.
Cena, what crime?
Jordan don't love Chachi, that's for darn sure.
Cena, what crime? The 2016 divisional round.
Oh, when you guys lost on the field goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got robbed, you said?
No, but in my delusional fan base Cowboys head, yes, we got robbed. So
it was also the scene of the wasn't the Dez catch that wasn't against
that
Green Bay
was
as
in
well?
Lambeau. That was in Lambeau.
Okay, but still it was against Green Bay.
Yes, it was. So 2014, 2016, played them both years in the playoffs, lost both times. I think we get our revenge. I hope so.
I
anyways.
agree.
I want you boys to pick first.
I'm going to take Dallas, and I think they're going to win in convincing fashion. I'm going to say, I'd say a 2-score game. I'm going to say 28-10.
That's a 3-score game.
3 scores.
But, okay. Yeah, look, I can't do math. I've already done enough math to
You're
work
good. I mean, that was like a weird number, so I understand you messing up on it.
All right, what you got?
Good, but I think CeeDee Lamb runs all over him.
For sure. Dude, I feel this is one of the games, bro, because I like Green Bay, bro, but I think Dallas struggles. I think this is one of those games where Green Bay leads for most of the game, and then CeeDee Lamb, they just are able to get some big plays going. I've got Dallas 28, Green Bay 24.
Okay, that's a fair score. I think Green Bay keeps it close. I really do. I think Green Bay, I think Jordan Love is going to have a pretty nice game. He looks like he's matured a lot over the course of the season. They have Jaden Reed is showing that he's Tyreek Hill-esque with his speed. Mm-hmm. Christian Watson, of course, has been out there making plays. Romeo Doubs has been out there making plays. Of course, Aaron Jones, you always have to worry about him. The concern for me, if I was a Packers fan, would be the defense aspect side of the ball. I really don't see an answer for this high-flying Cowboys offense. So for that reason, I'm going with Dallas, and I'm going 27-17 Dallas.
Okay. I think that's a respectable pick. Very respectable.
And then Sunday night, we have quarterback carousel. I think this is the marquee matchup of Sunday.
This is some WWE pay-per-view shit right here.
This is WWE pay-per-view backlash, Revenge of the Nerds. Why are you wearing my jersey type shit game? We have Matthew Stafford and Ian's Los Angeles Rams for the first time all year. And Jared, I don't know how to play golf, and the Detroit Lions. And with that being said, I'm so sorry, Ian. I really am, buddy. But I'm sorry you're going to have to go to San Francisco next week because I'm picking the Rams.
I knew, you know what? I've known you too well because I knew you were pulling my leg. You've always been a good friend, even though you constantly but yeah, I appreciate your pick. Go ahead, because I have so much to say about this game.
Oh, yeah. Man. Ian's going last on this one. I want Ian to go
last. I was about to go, and I was like,
Detroit's been limping into the playoffs over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Laporta's going to be out.
Laporta's out. Oh, jeez. I forgot about Laporta being out. Yeah, I got the Rams. I think they're going to win comfortably. I think I'm like 20-10. I think it'll be close. It'll be a 10-point game.
I was thinking more like 35-24 because I don't think the Rams' defense is strong enough to hold that, because the Lions have a solid offense. I don't think their defense is strong enough to hold them to 10.
Okay. I mean, I still think it's within 2 scores.
That's fair.
Like with this one with me, man, I've been going back and forth all day, and I know Casey, we'll be both justed, except you really haven't had an important game. The Patriots.
I don't have a horse in this whole race at all.
Right. Yeah. I was just, but yeah, man, it's trying to figure out whether it's your heart or your head. It's, Detroit, they've, like you said, they kind of limped into the playoffs. And to me, ever since they've been good, but ever since Baltimore beat the living shit out of them, they just haven't, to me, looked like the same thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the meantime,
they've been up and down ever since then.
Right. I was saying
they really have.
Really.
And then you have the 2-point conversion that wasn't.
Right. Yeah. That's, Dan Campbell has balls of steel. But as far as the game, man, I don't I don't know, man. Like Detroit's the fucking 3 seed for a reason. I have faith in my boys, bro. I like what we're doing. Give me the Rams, and if I lose, then it wasn't meant to be. I just like. I think we're gonna be able to put a lot of pressure on Goff. I think it's gonna be one of those games to where it's gonna be prime time. It's Jared Goff is gonna have to play in front of those home crowd. I think it might be one of the situations where it's harder playing at home than it is on the road. I think sometimes on the road, especially, I mean, Goff. Don't get me wrong, he's been to the Super Bowl, but I don't think many people consider Jared Goff a guy. I think he's more of the guy in Detroit. I think a lot of this seems more on Jared Goff's shoulders than it did when he was in LA. He was in LA. Our defense was really good. He was good. Don't get me wrong. Like, he had a phenomenal season. We went to the Super Bowl. Obviously, what a big contributing factor. But I think that he makes at least a couple of mistakes. I think overall he is pretty good, but I think he makes a couple of plays that cost them. I've got the Rams winning 14-10.
Ooh,
damn, that's a low-scoring game.
I think our offense hits a couple big plays, but I think the Detroit bends but doesn't break. We might have to settle for punting the ball a couple of times. So, or 17.
Okay.
I'll say 17. I think if we get one field goal.
One thing to say: the reason why the Lions are the number 3 seed is because the NFC South is dog shit.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Right, you said that because the NFC South is dog shit?
Yes.
Wait, what? Hold on.
The NFC South is dog shit, which is why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the 4th seed.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're. I thought you were talking about the line. Yeah, no, yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm slow. You're saying that they're any other year they'd probably be the 4th best division champion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes sense. I understand that entirely. And Ian, kind of back to your point before we go to this Eagles Tampa game, you mentioned something about Jared Goff not being the guy. And you're right. And he's what a lot of people in the sports world to call a jag, which is just a guy. Like, he's not the guy. He's just a guy.
Which
makes sense.
He's Mac Jones. He's just a guy.
I mean, he's clearly better than Mac Jones, but
yes.
that's a story for another day.
Still,
I'm sure
he's still a jag too. But anyway.
No, absolutely. But if you had Jared Goff, you would trade Mac Jones for Jared Goff
in a heartbeat.
He was the number 1 pick, for God's sakes, man.
He was. He was in the same draft class as Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. Who's the best quarterback out of that draft? I wonder. Anyways, we're moving on. Actually, Ian, I'm going to ask you a quick question real quick. Were you guys locked up for the 6th seed regardless yesterday or Sunday?
Yeah, I believe they were.
They must have been, because what in the fuck were they doing starting Carson Wentz over Matt Stafford? They must have been locked into the 6th seed regardless, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, because that's what the game. That's why I was wanting to win the game last week so badly, because I knew we had to play San Francisco. It's okay. So let's see. Green Bay won. They got 7. Seattle won, but they didn't make it at all. So that must mean, and we don't even own the tiebreaker with Green Bay, which means that we finished with the win more than them. So yeah, we were already locked in, and we're and then who's 5 in the fucking NFC?
Philly.
Eagles. And we obviously don't have nearly as many wins as the Eagles. So yeah, we were
okay. So you were. That's why you started Carson Wentz. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And why did Carson Wentz won 16 quarterback options?
Bro, I was about to take him under 9.5 rushing yards, and yeah,
you're a good thing you didn't. All right. Anyways, moving on to the closeout game for the NFL Wildcard. We have the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen, don't touch my dick because it hurts, against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay fuck Casey ears. So, with that being said, you boys go first on this one.
The Eagles.
AJ Brown is hurt.
AJ Brown's hurt.
That's true.
Yep. The Eagles
is he hurt to the point where he's not playing?
I don't know.
Is he playing? We don't know. Okay.
But the Eagles have been a shell of themselves the better part of the last half of the season. They're not the team that they were to start off the year. I am taking the Bucs in an upset.
I was thinking about it, man.
Justin, you said you had 2 upsets. I've only seen 1.
I had Miami losing to Kansas City.
I wouldn't consider that an upset.
Well, who's the point spread favorite? That's what we got to go based on. Even though
City.
I wouldn't really consider it an upset either.
I mean, if you consider how they played all for the predominant course of the year, you would say Miami is a better team than Kansas City all year.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So to that extent, I'm saying that was an upset.
Okay.
My big upset is the Tampa Philly game. That's my big upset.
I thought when you said 2 upsets, I thought you were. I was banking on you going Steelers over Steelers.
No,
over Bills.
No, I'm not. No, I love my wife, but I'm not stupid.
I was banking on that.
Sweetie.
I wasn't sure on your other one. I wasn't sure if you were going to go Packers over Cowboys or Bucs over Eagles. But I was banking that you were going to pick Steelers over Bills. But okay.
No, Bucs over Eagles, and I think it's going to be one of those dog shit sort of like grinded out games for Tampa. 21-17 Bucs win.
Okay. What about you, Ian?
Dude, I've been going back and forth on this one too because, like Justin was saying, Tampa looks like a shell of themselves. But how good is Tampa? The game's gonna be in Tampa. Philly is -3. Dude, I want to go with Tampa, but like, are they really good enough to beat Philly in the playoffs? Give me Philly, 34-20.
I'm going Philly too. I don't think Philly's really going to make a deep run. I think they probably could get bounced out next round, depending on who their matchup is. It's either going to be Dallas or it's going to be the Detroit, I believe, because Dallas or Detroit, right?
Yes, it'd be Dallas or Detroit because Detroit would, because whoever they would have
the lowest remaining seed goes to San Francisco.
The lowest remaining seed plays the number 1 seed. The highest ranked seed plays.
So it's either Philly's either going to Dallas or San Francisco after this, right? Because if
Dallas plays the highest. Dallas plays the highest seed. Dallas plays the highest seed left.
Right. Justin's right. Dallas is going to play the highest remaining seed. So Dallas is going to play
right. So
the lowest remaining seed, the highest remaining seed.
Yes.
San Fran plays the highest remaining seed, right? And
so if San Fran plays the lowest, San Fran plays the lowest remaining seed.
So lowest remaining seed. So that would be if Philly wins, but Detroit wins, that would mean the highest remaining seed is 5. And so that means Philly would go to San Fran.
Philly would go to San Fran, correct. So Detroit would go to Dallas. Philly would go to San Fran.
Yes.
But like, say hypothetically the Eagles win, then it would be the Niners against the Packers, and then it would be wait, who did I just say if the Packers win?
Yeah, if the Packers win, they're going to San Fran no matter what.
Right. And then Dallas would play.
Dallas would be going home. Dallas is playing.
Dallas would be playing with themselves on the couch.
Tripping. They're playing with themselves on the couch. Yeah, now I got myself confused. But now I've always liked that the NFL does it like that, man. Like, I'm not a big fan of. I like it when we got to be giving these better teams a slot straight to the championship. Like all this shit where the divisions. We can talk about rivalries all day. Really, still obviously not a fan of it, but because it just like the NFC South is so fucking bad this year, bro. Like,
they suck.
Yeah. So I got Philly in this game. I think Philly more than likely will end up in Dallas next week if we had to play it out the way that we all think it's going to go, because we think the Rams are going to win. So it's probably, I think that's going to be a great matchup, but I think that Philly will sneak past Tampa. I didn't like what I saw from Tampa last week. Of course they won. And of course, I like the resurrection story of Baker Mayfield, coming back from that atrocious.
Was Tampa even playing for anything though?
Was Tampa? Yeah, they had to win the division.
Did they have to win? Okay, I wasn't sure if they were winning it or if they already had it won after Atlanta lost.
Because if they would have lost and the Saints won, the Saints would have won the division.
Oh, okay. Well, I stay corrected. Okay.
Yeah, which I guess they beat Carolina 9-0, so I guess it's not like any win to write home about. But they clinched the division again. They'll have another home playoff game. I think Philly scrapes this one by. I'm saying 24-21 Eagles with a late field goal. And there you have it, folks. That is the pick segment for the first Wildcard round.
Do you guys want to know something? I didn't even write none of that shit down.
It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, it's the playoffs. Like, I feel like I could go back and know exactly what the fuck. I'll clarify with you guys, and I could go back and listen to it. But I was like, you know what? It's not fucking 10,000 games. Like, I'm gonna just chill back on the couch that I just moved over here to the. So yeah, Smokey, get the fuck out the dryer before I fuck your ass up. So what are we talking about next, boys?
So we got to also mention the fact that the coaching carousel has already started. Black Monday.
Oh man,
We've
it's been.
This is your time.
Arthur Smith gone. Ron Rivera and GM's gone.
You know, Mike the one Vrabel, that shocked me. That's the one that shocked me was Mike Vrabel gone. I didn't expect me that. Too. I did not expect that.
Knee-jerk reaction is what it feels like to me almost.
Well, it's almost like, what did you expect him to do with that roster?
He had nothing to work with.
Nothing. Washed-up Derrick Henry, a Ryan Tannehill that's just completely lost it, a rookie quarterback in Will Levis. What did you really expect, Tennessee? And you guys still finished with 6 wins, and a lot of that was because of the coaching. Vrabel is a phenomenal coach. He's going to get
traded away AJ Brown for what?
A bag of Doritos?
Yeah. They didn't get much
still
for
got
him.
Hopkins, so, you know.
But Hopkins has also lost a step.
Hopkins is absolutely... You know one coach that we haven't talked about that I'm pretty sure has coached his last game in his destination too? Jim Harbaugh.
That's an interesting one. But why does he want... So what happened in San Francisco? Is the relationship with the organization bad? I remember reading something about it a while back, but he wasn't even doing that bad.
It's soured quickly.
And the reason is, I guess it's due to Jim Harbaugh's intensity, and which is why everyone says he's such a fit for the college program, because all your players rotate out.
Yeah, for sure.
And all your players rotate out within a 4-year span, so his coaching style doesn't wear you down. If you stay in a destination like the NFL for that long of a time, especially when you're not dealing with college kids, you're dealing with grown men who may not take you yelling in their face too kindly. However, I think he's going to the Chargers.
I think the Chargers are a good fit. I think the Falcons are a good fit.
I don't think it's going to be an NCAA team because he's facing the looming suspensions.
I don't think he's getting the fuck out of there. Yeah, I forgot about that. Now that I think about it, yeah, I'm with you 100%. He's
going to the NFL. The question is where.
Yes.
Right. Chargers. I think Belichick goes to LA.
Belichick, but here's the crazy thing.
What about Harbaugh to New England?
This nugget just dropped today. Breaking news, as it were. If Bill Belichick stays in New England, guess who's coming back to run the offense?
Josh McDaniels.
Yes. Why?
In Las Vegas.
Why?
I don't like that. I don't think.
I don't either. What they need to do, and this is my thinking, take it for what it is.
Clean house.
You either hire Jim Harbaugh or Mike Vrabel and clean house.
Mac Jones gone. Bailey Zappi gone. Clean.
Mac Jones gone. Bailey Zappi gone. You draft. You're locked in the number 3 spot. So you're going to either. So depending on what Chicago does, you're either going to have an option at Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Marvin Harrison Jr. One of the 3.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Here's the thing: if you get Jim Harbaugh, you're going to take Marvin Harrison in the first round.
Absolutely, and you're going to trade him to get it back in the first round. Get JJ McCarthy.
Well, I think McCarthy's going to fall in the second round.
No, McCarthy's going to go in the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, he'll probably go in the
Who
top
in the top 20 would need a quarterback though? Cleveland, maybe.
Cleveland would. Let's see who else would.
That's about it.
I like Vrabel more in that situation for New England.
I think Vrabel is definitely a more polished head coach right now than Harbaugh, but Harbaugh has been to a Super Bowl. But
that team was fucking loaded, and you know it, bro.
It was. I was just gonna say that team was absolutely stacked.
Fucking Patrick Willis, Frank fucking Gore, Vernon Davis. Like, you're not beating that team, bro. Like,
it wasn't like the 2001 Hurricanes, but it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I mean, God, no team is like.
I think Vrabel has a higher floor than Harbaugh at this point, like because Harbaugh's been out of the game for what, like fucking 5-6 years, at the pro game at least, probably more than that, probably more closer to like 8. So I just think that I think Vrabel has a higher floor, and like Casey was saying, like he still won 6 games. Your whole fucking roster getting banged up. DeAndre Hopkins lost a step. You really don't have any answer at quarterback. I can't
The thing
fucking
is,
say
but here's the thing: if the Patriots clean house and drop Belichick, presumably, and hire Vrabel, that opens Jerron Mayo for a coaching job, who is absolutely deserving of a coaching job.
I could not agree more.
So it's gonna get intense, fellas.
Yeah, Belichick in LA, bro. Whole new scenery. You go from northeast New England to LA. You know what I'm saying? You get out of the ownership of Robert Kraft, who he's famously butted heads with over years. I could really see Belichick going to the Chargers. God fucking knows.
Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. So you guys good?
I could see what you're talking about. I could definitely see Belichick going to the Chargers because they got pieces around him. You know, they got a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. They have the correct offensive pieces. Kellen Moore seems like he's done a good job with their offense. I'm not too sure on the defensive side of the ball how well San Diego, LA is going to be. However, I could see with Bill them turning that around. I think that would be a good destination for him for sure. That might be the best destination for him.
I mean, he gets his Brady.
Absolutely. He gets his Brady. That's a really good point, Ian, because he has a quarterback like Justin Herbert. That makes complete sense to me. But there are rumors speculating that if Dallas has another collapse and say they lose to Green Bay this Sunday, they might get rid of Mike McCarthy. And I think Bill
is not going to go to Dallas. He's not going to go to Dallas because Jerry won't then give him GM privileges.
What if Bill is willing to give up the GM privileges?
He's supposedly going to be open to getting rid of GM privileges here in New England. Supposedly. I'll believe when I see it.
I think he should.
He absolutely should. He needs to.
He's still a fantastic X's and O's coach. But he's shown he's not the greatest evaluator of talent at this point. The league has changed, and he's failed to realize that.
He's not going to Dallas, bro.
New England's defense was still incredible this year.
Amazing.
Top 10, maybe top 5. Maybe top 5. It went healthy, mind you. Went healthy.
And this is absolutely zero shade to Dan Quinn, who I feel like is probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league.
Oh, easily.
But how well do you think Dallas's defense would be under Bill Belichick?
Oh God, Micah Parsons would be Lawrence Taylor reincarnated for sure.
So, if Belichick sees the writing on the wall and can deal with Jerry Jones, you guys can't tell me, even as non-Cowboys fans, with the right coach, that roster isn't prime and ready for a Super Bowl.
Belichick ain't going to be the coach, though.
They've got the roster for a Super Bowl. There's no question about it.
They've got the roster. I just don't think they have the right ownership group for Bill to go there.
I don't see him going from one owner that he's bumped heads with, Robert Kraft, to another egomaniac in Jerry Jones. I just don't see it happening. I don't see him being around. I see him going to something I feel like he thinks he could because remember, he's the one essentially that built New England. We know they went to 2 Super Bowls before he got there with Parcells and whoever was their coach in the 80s, but I just don't see him going to New England. I mean, he definitely would have a huge impact on Parsons, though. That would be awesome, and he would know what schemes to put him in and work with all that talent. Shit, I mean, don't forget about just Parsons. Think about all the guys that he also worked with on that defense. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I could not agree more, Ian. That's a fantastic point too. I see where you're coming from. I don't necessarily think Belichick would wind up in Dallas. I really don't. But the writing's on the wall where it could be a possibility, and I think that would be hell on the NFL.
Possibility, yes. Realistically, no.
No. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Justin. It's a possibility, yes. Is it realistic? No.
Now we're about 49 minutes in. If you guys do have anything else you want to add about the NFL, just let me know. But I know you guys watched the main hockey game this weekend. I
Yeah.
wasn't able to watch it. ESPN Plus, it's for some fucking reason only on main games. They're like, no, you're from Vegas and don't come invade our shit. But you guys have played a tough game against Colgate this weekend and squeaked it out. Tough team, well coached team. Maine now number 7 in the country. I want to get both of your guys' reactions, man.
Well,
What's your confidence
Well,
level?
Maine now remains at 7 in the country. They were 7th entering in the week. ESPN Plus, they messed it up. They had Maine ranked as 8th, but they were 7th in the
Oh,
coaching
they did
poll.
that
So
shit, yeah, all the time. I think they called for you
nonetheless,
guys Tachi.
it's not the first time they've done that.
So obviously they squeaked out the win Friday. Not really squeaked out. They had a pretty impressive performance Friday. However, on Saturday,
Colgate came to play.
Colgate came to play and was up 3-0 in the first period before Osman got pulled, thankfully.
The first 10 minutes.
It was
Maine
bad. Did not come ready. But once they put Borja back in the net after he subbed in for Osman, it's almost like Maine it lit a fire up under him because they scored quickly, got it back to 3-1. And then of course it ended up being a 4-4 tie. And Maine technically won in the shootout, but it wasn't for any extra points because it wasn't for conference play.
So that pairwise, if anything.
I don't even think it did pairwise because the game in the scoreboards is in the record books is a tie with no extra points for either team.
So what's the point of a non-conference shootout then? What's the point of that then?
Just a little bit of flair for the home crowd. Yeah, basically just for pride. It didn't mean anything. It still ended in a tie. So Maine gets the win in the tie. So they end that weekend with 4 points, right? Yeah, 4 points. Actually, you don't even get points for non-conference wins. So they end it. They just end it with a win and a tie, which is fine. I mean, they still haven't technically lost on home ice yet. I feel like Maine is still trending in the right direction. I still feel like they have, they still have a steep hill to climb. I still don't like any matchup against any Boston team, Boston College or Boston University, especially in a neutral ice setting. I don't feel like that would end well for Maine. But they're definitely trending in the right direction. Obviously, the Nadeau brothers could be the best pairing in college hockey as far as two individual players who have a feel and a depth for each other. I feel like
that chemistry unmatched. They have, dude. They always know where the other is going to be.
Absolutely, yeah. The Nadeau brothers' chemistry is second to none. It's phenomenal. I'm really enjoying the grit that this team has now. I understand Colgate's not the best team, but being down 3-0 to be able to tie it 4-4 with 2 minutes left, and then, obviously couldn't officially seal the deal in overtime, but held on for the tie. I think that shows a lot of grit. I'm very happy and very pleased the way this team is trending, and I'm hoping it can continue on forward.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
And I still have them in the same spot where I did a few weeks ago. I think they can win a conference tournament game a tournament game or two when it gets to the NCAA tournament. I'm still not ready to pencil them into the Frozen Four, but I also wouldn't write them off from getting there either. I think it's definitely a possibility.
It all depends on the matchup for them, I think.
Yep, absolutely agree.
Avoid Boston as much as you can.
I think at this point, Maine is gonna, was it the second year for Ben Barr? Second year? Third?
Yep, third.
I think when we get 3-4 years down the road, we're gonna because I think at this point Maine, with BC they have 11 NHL guys on their roster. When Maine really starts getting the top talent, I think they're gonna I think they're in a good position, man. I'm excited. That Alphon I watched the game against BC, they scored. I think it was a goal to take the lead, man. That shit was fucking. Dude, the camera was shaking. I was like, "It's college hockey." Like, I see what they were. I've watched a bunch of Maine games before. Casey telling me about it, but that shit was
I'm telling you, on TV, it doesn't do it justice. It was insane.
The roof is
UNH.
low too. It seems like so. All that shit just comes right back down. The sound.
It was nuts against UNH. It was loud in there.
That's so fucking That's crazy, dude. Like I like the arena, bro. Like it's not too. It's just two decks. Yeah, the scoreboard in the middle, and it seems like it's right. A lot of the college hockey arena, it's just right on top of the action, right on top.
It's a very personal feel to the arena.
Is there really? It seems, yeah, because I mean, doesn't look huge, man, but it looks like a tiny. It looks like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
looks pretty deceiving. It's deceptively big.
Yeah, it is. It is deceptively big.
Oh, is it really when you're in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's and that roof is low, man. I like it. Like, I rather them have that than have, a nice little cool setup, but it's just this huge fucking, it's just nice and everybody's right on top of them. You can, what did you say they're saying? What the, I know you said what about a sex toy as they were taunting the goalie, but there was another one you told me, the empty net one. It wasn't the he's a freshman. It was something else. It was, I know Justin, it was like did Justin, you say they do something about his girlfriend or something like that?
Oh, Casey Smith, who used to play for UNH.
Oh, Casey's mom, his guy. Yeah, that was pretty funny. They're clever, man.
Yeah.
No, they are. And then my favorite's always been "It's All Your Fault." Like that. Absolutely. That's just lovely. That's my favorite one.
Touchdown Black Bears was my favorite. I was there.
Touchdown Black Bears is a great one. I
that
love
when they get
that one.
6 or 7?
6.
But, when you're directly chanting at a goalie that the reason they're losing is all his fault, I just think that's incredible. I love that.
And it gets like, who does? You could be the best goalie in the world, man, and that shit's gonna fuck. Like, I just allowed 2 goals, and they're telling me about this shit right now.
Yeah, they are letting me know. Or actually, one of my other favorite ones is if Maine ever scores 2 or 3 minutes or less within the first period. The whole student check section, that was easy chant. I like that one too.
We just started. Look at me, I can design chants.
But anyways, so with that being said, I actually don't know Maine's matchup this weekend.
I looked at it. Providence is later on in the month, I think.
Oh, it's UMass Lowell. It's UMass Lowell.
Oh, okay.
So they have UMass Lowell coming up this weekend. I think that's going to be a sweep for Maine. I feel like they're going to get out of there with two clear wins, which is going to be great because that's going to be 6 points in Hockey East. So that's going to be wonderful for them. What do you think?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, Lowell's just not good this year. They're still a Hockey East team. They're still, they still got talent on there. So it's not going to be a cakewalk, and Maine's going to have to come ready. But I think they get out of there with a sweep.
I agree.
What do you boys say? We move on.
On to what? It cut out.
The question.
Oh, yep. Yes, sir. I'm ready. Who has got the question?
I do not.
All right, I got one.
All right. I knew Casey did. I feel like he was really eger to say the question. What's the question, big dog?
Actually, this is just going off the top of my head. I thought you had it, Ian, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head here.
All right, hold on. Is it a good question?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I have no idea.
There was one that I was thinking, but no, go ahead. I can't think of nothing, and I did it last week anyway. I'm interested.
What is a higher criteria?
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Justin? Oh, okay. What is a higher criteria for GOAT status? Peak or longevity?
That's damn. You know what? I was actually asking you if you wanted me to do the question because I felt like if you pull it out of your ass, it wouldn't be as good. So I was like, give me a second. But that's probably the best question we've had on the show. Fuck, dude. I mean, this could be an hour long.
Can I get that question one more time? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. All right, are you ready? Just let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
What is a higher criteria for GOAT status? Peak or longevity?
Ooh. I'm going to go longevity.
Reason? What's your reasoning?
Because obviously you peak at a high level, but can you do it over an extended period of time? Like I love Brady. He was never always the best in everything, but he was consistent.
That's fair.
He was always in the mix. He was never not in the question.
No, that's actually a good point, Justin, because outside of 2007, I don't think there was a year that Brady was clear-cut the best quarterback in the league.
What? Maybe 2011, but then again, you can make the argument was Matt Ryan that year.
Oh God, no. 2011 was Aaron Rodgers by a mile, my friend.
Maybe I'm getting a different year confused. Anyway, but yes, same idea.
Yeah, well, no, I know that's a valid argument though, because I actually once heard an argument that I actually agree with, and the argument is such: Kobe Bryant is the only top 10 player in NBA history to never be the best player in the league.
That's hard. Wow.
What was the question?
Well, it's not a question. It's a statement that I heard that stuck with me for a while.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of the forefront to this question. And the statement was from a sportscaster. I don't want to say his name, but it was Kobe Bryant is the only top 10 player in NBA history to never be the best player in the league.
Only top 10 player to never be the best player in the league. Well, let's see. Let's just go ahead and just briefly go ahead. Jordan, obviously. Kareem was the best player for fucking years. People don't realize that. Shaq.
Bill.
Shaq was
Magic.
Bird, Magic, LeBron.
But I mean, was there any? Because
Bill Russell.
I mean,
Larry Bird.
I don't think that's too accurate of a statement, because if you think about it, Magic and I mean, don't get me wrong. There was Bird won 3 straight MVPs, but how much? I mean, I guess we could say he was clear-cut over Magic at that time. Was Magic ever really clear-cut over Bird? And I think the year that Kobe, the year he scored 81, like, he was going the fuck off. I mean, because he was right. I mean, he was right there in the top. Like, he averaged 35 points a game that year is what I'm trying to say. So, like,
no,
to say he
scoring-wise, sure, but you could argue at that point Tim Duncan was a better overall player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, possibly, but I mean, are we going to get not Kobe for that? He was never the
clear-cut best player in the NBA in his career.
I mean, yeah, that's fair, but I mean, how many guys? I mean, I guess, okay, Kareem, Jordan, but when we're talking clear-cut, any year that Bird plays, I could have been like, oh, well, Magic. The Bird did have a few really good seasons, but he
won 3 straight MVPs. He was absolutely clear-cut the best player in the league for a long time.
Right, but okay, and then also I'll say that a counterpoint to that, though, Bird didn't play against the guys that Kobe played against for them, or not played against, sorry, but the other top players. Bird didn't have as much competition as Kobe. Realistic competition. Jordan was still young.
Okay, but Ian, that point is completely irrelevant to Kobe being the best player in the league in his era.
I mean, there's a couple seasons.
Anyways, hold up. We're getting.
I gotta run. I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta run, but
you're good.
Okay, so you're going with longevity, though, Justin. That's your answer to the question: is longevity over peak? Okay, Absolutely. There we go. Perfect. Let's get back to the question, Ian. Longevity or peak?
The Brady example was good. I don't know, man. I think that one's kind of I think it's kind of tough because we're talking about, I'm guessing, like the extreme of the two, longevity and peak. Because I mean, when we talk about, some guys have had 2 seasons, 3 seasons where they had some of the greatest seasons ever. But then
I'll give you a prime example of the peak. Barry Sanders only played 9 years, but people arguably call him the greatest running back in the history of the league, although he only played 9 years.
Okay, for sure. And then he's an example of peak. An example of longevity would be
Emmitt Smith.
Okay, we were both thinking the same thing. I mean, I don't know that one. There's too many circumstances. I don't know, because it's LeBron longevity. Sorry, I was thinking of LeBron when I said that, because it's
the reason.
Yeah, listen, I'm listening.
The reason I asked the question, it's
tough.
Oh, hold on, you're gonna like this. The reason I asked this question, it's another way to get into the Jordan and LeBron debate, because peak, it's Jordan. What he was doing in his career was unmatched as far as a peak, when they won back-to-back, when they won 6 titles. That was his peak at his highest. And I think Jordan's peak was higher than LeBron's peak, not by much, but a tidbit higher.
That's fair.
But I think LeBron's longevity far eclipses Jordan's longevity.
Yeah, and so that's yeah. Go ahead.
That's why I'm asking, what's more important to you, personally?
No, I know I did say longevity, which I do think that, I mean, because I think LeBron's the GOAT. I think Brady's the GOAT. I honestly almost think this could go situation by situation when you're comparing two people. Because if you're comparing, okay, let's look at Jordan's 6 championships, all defensive teams, all NBA, all that. And he played from drafted in 84 until his initial retirement in 98. I'm not counting the Wizard shit, whatever. And then LeBron was drafted in 03. It's 2024. Look at the level he's performing at. It, when you're comparing that situation, it's like, you could make cases for both sides, but
yeah, no, you can. That's why I'm asking just you personally.
What I'm saying is like some case, yeah, for me, I mean, me personally, I guess it might just be not peak by peak, sorry, case by case, because I think that it depends who you in this situation I choose LeBron. There might be a football player or a baseball player to where I would see the side that Jordan side's fans are seeing with basketball and like, what, that player had an amazing peak, other guy had great longevity, but his peak far eclipses that. I picked that guy. I really think it goes situation by situation. That's actually my answer, because now that I'm thinking about it, like it's really hard to say that longevity is always going to prevail, because then I think that you're closing your mind off on, the fact that somebody might have an amazing peak, but oh damn, this guy played 20 years, averaged 20 points, was incredible, but this guy over here was otherworldly.
Great for 5 seasons and average 30 is what you're saying.
Otherworldly, like 40, and just so yeah, I go case by case.
Sure, no, and I get your case by case thing. I think when you're breaking it down into what's more important to you for the criteria aspect, obviously you're only going to entertain the discussion by 2 players who are worthy of the GOAT conversation anyways.
Fair, that's very fair.
Like, you're not going to say, oh,
you're not going to entertain it if there's nobody in the fucking ballpark, whether
right,
it's longevity or peak that the guy has.
Correct. So say if somebody had 3 years, but didn't win anything, but was still phenomenal in his accolades compared to an average player for 15 years. You're not going to compare them on who had a better career. But what you can do is when it's 2 players who are maxed out, tip-top, best of their craft in that situation, what criteria in that particular aspect weighs more? Like for you, Ian, with Michael Jordan's peak, you could definitely make the case as a little higher, although you said you have LeBron as your GOAT, but it's hard to argue that Jordan probably had the best peak. But LeBron's longevity has far surpassed Michael Jordan's. So in your mind, the way I'm trying to picture what you're saying is longevity in that particular case, when it matters to 2 players who are already in the GOAT status, longevity matters just a little bit more because you've done it for longer at the higher level than the peak run of peak greatness is the best way to put it.
Well, I mean, it's really just like, again, it's just case by case. Like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like how, they're both in the conversation, take longevity. But it might be another situation where it's a realistic conversation to have. I think like LeBron and Jordan, but I think the peak outweighs the longevity. I really just think it's case by case. Like I'm really just, I don't.
That's a good answer. I like that.
I think that longevity is impressive, bro. Because to be able to do something at that high of a level, it says, I mean, because like Brady, bro, like, I mean, you could look back and like Justin was saying, I don't know if it was you or Justin, there was maybe only 1 or 2 seasons he was the clear-cut best quarterback. But you look at, same thing with Alabama, I guess is a good way to put it. Like USC's run compare USC's 3-year run to Alabama's run over the last, I don't fucking know, 20 years. USC was constantly number 1. Alabama's been 1, 2, 3, 4. But to be in the top 5 for fucking almost 15 years in a row, like, which is more impressive, USC during that 3-year run or Alabama? I'd probably choose Alabama. Now, if you're, now if you're comparing that USC 3-year run to, I don't know, who's a team that's been like good, but they just kind of never won the big one for like 6-7 years.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, that's a really good one. Ohio State. You're comparing USC that year they were winning all those championships with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush to Ohio State. And it's like, okay, Ohio State's constantly been in the top 5 for 8 years, but USC 3 years was, they never fucking lost, which is more impressive. Like, yeah. So I think it's case by case because you could.
No, that's a really good answer.
Plug and replace.
That's a really good answer, and I appreciate the insight and the depth that you went into with that question. Real quick for me before we hop off tonight, I would probably have to lean more towards longevity over peak as well, as far as if I'm not breaking it down case by case and just had to pick one or the other, what's more important to me, I'd say longevity as well, because it speaks volume to be able to do it at that high level for such a long sustained period of time.
So you said you pick longevity. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I agree with you on the case by case scenario where you have to break it down in that instance. But I feel like if we're just talking about what argument would hold more weight in a true GOAT debate, longevity over peak, because we're not talking about the best. There's a difference between the best and the greatest. Just because, let's put it like, obviously, Tom Brady's not the best quarterback of all time because he's not the most talented. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He doesn't.
The best is talent. The greatest is legacy.
Yes, absolutely. The best is your individualized talent. I could name 5 or 6 quarterbacks off the top of my head that are better than Tom Brady, but I can't name one exactly, Patrick Mahomes, but I can't name one greater because they haven't done what he's done.
That's actually a really good way to put it, because I've always kind of thought along the same line, because people want to say great. Like Tracy McGrady is a guy that gets brought up to bed. Who was really better than Tracy McGrady for a lot of those years?
Nobody.
That dude was amazing, but you're talking about greatest.
He was Kobe. He was just 6'9". He was a 6'9" Kobe.
6'9" Kobe dunking on people, hitting fadeaways, scoring 13 points in 33 seconds. Yeah, he could have definitely been the best, but is he
another great example of that, Ian, in his prime? Vince Carter. If Vince Carter had the determination and the will of Kobe, he would have been one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, and then now speaking of Kobe, because we were just talking about with Grady, they played the same tie. Their careers are intertwined in a lot of ways. Kobe, even though he's not in the GOAT debate for me, his greatness is greater than Tracy McGrady, because even though McGrady, you could argue that in those Orlando years, I mean, shit, he averaged like 31, 32 points a game as well. You could argue that maybe McGrady had a better peak at his absolute best than Kobe if you look at the numbers. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kobe averaged 35 a game. McGrady finished higher in MVP voting. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is you could make the case that McGrady at his peak was a better player than Kobe at his peak.
At his peak, right.
Yes, I agree with that. You're not going to make the argument that, McGrady is a greater player than Kobe or even a better player overall as time went on.
Right.
But if you're talking about just their individualized peak, yes, at their greatest, you could make the case that Tracy McGrady was as good, if not a little better than Kobe. I agree.
I think I think that was a really good last question. Like I said, when you pulled it out of your ass, I was like, let's see what kind of quality he covered, but that was some pure fire shit. That was a really good question. And I
thank you.
I think I really enjoy the longevity peak debates, because I think it's interesting seeing people looking at it from two sides of the spectrum, man. Especially when you have guys like, and we'll go ahead and wrap up after this, but you have guys like Jordan and Bron that they have essentially, and you might agree with this, I feel like you will, they've met the highest level. Jordan has reached the absolute tip top of peak. LeBron has reached the absolute tip top of longevity. Nobody's had a greater peak than Jordan. Nobody's had better longevity than LeBron. Maybe
no question about it.
It's team sport, if we're really being real about it.
And I'll even say this, because it kind of sways more towards LeBron's favor. There's a bigger gap between LeBron and Jordan's longevity than there is between Jordan and LeBron's peak. There's a bigger gap.
I mean, well, shit. Let's not. Jordan did play what 14. Oh shit, LeBron's won like year 14, 19.
He's year 21.
20, 21.
He's in year 21.
20. Maybe you're right. Is it 21?
It's year 21.
Okay, so that's fair then. Because yeah, that's a whole. Jordan definitely played at a high level for a really long time, but at this point, yeah, I would say that LeBron. I mean, just look at the shit he's doing on the court, dude.
Did you? Obviously, you're a Clippers fan. Did you see how he posterized Paul George?
He's different, bro. Like he's just built different, man.
That's why I say the gap, because I think the gap in peak between Jordan's and LeBron's peak is minuscule. I think it's there, but it's almost microscopic.
So who's better? Who's the more talented when you say this guy, I'd probably say LeBron too, simply because the passing.
Yeah, because there's never been a more complete basketball player than LeBron James ever. With everything he done on the court, you could argue that Jordan was a better two-way player as far as offense and defense because of what Jordan did defensively individualized. However, Jordan couldn't pass like LeBron. He didn't have the basketball IQ like LeBron. He wasn't an overall he was a general. Don't get me wrong. Michael Jordan he had a high basketball IQ.
For sure.
But LeBron can dictate every single aspect of the game.
He controls everything. I mean, he doesn't always make the pass to make the assist. He'll make the right pass, and they'll keep swinging the ball. He'll make the right play. These guys make their fucking shots. I think that's the way I see it.
And see, that's why I like talking about this with you, because if I were just to say to any random basketball person, oh, you could argue that Jordan was a better two-way player. They're like, oh, that means he was the better player. No, because it's deeper than that. It gets
a lot deeper than that. I don't think people try to say. I don't mind getting an in-depth Jordan and LeBron debate, but when people try to like that shit it's just so.
It's a terrible argument.
I wouldn't say it's uneducated. It's just
under-researched.
It is. I don't.
It is an uneducated argument. I don't even like discussing it. Like, 6-0, 6 Finals MVPs. It's like, okay, and if Jordan had to play the 2017 Warriors back-to-back in 2017 and 2018, they absolutely would have lost. If he would have played the Spurs dynasty back when it was just him, like, dude, they don't talk about the times that Jordan got swept out of the first round in the playoffs. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about when he came back and lost in the conference finals to the Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't get talked about, it's just frustrating. I love Michael Jordan, bro. I am a Jordan head when it comes to shoes. I have so many of his sneakers, but it's not a relevant point to bring up LeBron's finals losses when the only one that I truly feel is on LeBron is 2011. He didn't show up in that one, and there's no getting around that.
Yeah, well, especially like that game where he just fucking showed. He had like 2 points in the fourth quarter, and he had like 9 points the whole game. But other than that, bro, like people are gonna have different paths. LeBron owns the city of Toronto, bro. I mean, people don't talk about
it's
LeBron.
Not Toronto, it's LeBronto, bro.
Yeah, people don't talk about the teams that we want to talk about. How the people that didn't eat in Jordan's era, Patrick Ewing, Malone, Stockton, because Jordan was around Barkley. We don't talk about the great players and the great teams. I mean, granted, they would have had to play a team from the West, so maybe they wouldn't have won. The Toronto Raptors, the Hawks, the Bulls, the fucking Celtics. Yeah, I mean, shit, the fucking Bulls had Derrick Rose, Corver, Noah, young Jimmy Butler, Boozer. Miami beat them in 5. Like LeBron
because of LeBron.
Because of LeBron, solely because of LeBron. The fucking Celtics, man. Like, I mean, shit, bro. They had no reason beating young Jason Tatum in them. The year LeBron carried them in 2018, beat Celtics in 7 games. They had no business beating the fucking Pacers in the first round that year. They really didn't. I was honestly surprised that I thought they were gonna choke that game 7 away. I thought they were gonna lose that one against the Pacers.
Well, especially when LeBron went out. Thank God for Kevin Love. I think he hit 2 or 3 threes at the time LeBron was out.
Shout out to K Love, bro. That dude is still doing it.
He is. Got a lot of respect for K Love. On that note, Ian, it's been wonderful, bro. That's why I love talking about basketball with you, because you can go into an in-depth level like I can, and It makes for really interesting conversations because you understand it's more than just who does this better individually. It's
very in depth.
It's so in depth, and that's why sports are the greatest thing in the world. All right, my man, it's been real. Until next time, peace out, mixed reactions. Enjoy the playoff weekend. For anyone that's listening in Maine, get ready because we're about to get fucked in this storm. So enjoy your night, everyone. And always remember, it's Ian's Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the people in Maine. Hopefully everybody stays safe. And if anybody would like to buy some crack, know a guy named what you see what the fuck is that shit? Dave Chappelle is a guy named Sanchez over on 8th Street.
No, it's Martinez.
Oh, Martinez.
You can take a bus to find a brother named Martinez.
Motherfuckers all taking notes and shit, man. We got to get on this bitch one day and do a battle rap so I can. No, I'm just playing. What if this shit blows up and they're like, no, you told them. Sorry, I'm kind of delaying the opening. We don't know how to close a show. We still get anxiety. On that note, if somebody does want some drugs, you know, why don't I just stop saying dumb shit and close the show? Good night, Canada.
Oh boy, ha. Good night, everybody. I'll buy some hookers and cocaine, ha.
Good old Landy.
Hey,
Good night.